to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day should be an adventure in your kitchen. And today's adventure takes us to the world of peanut butter cheesecake. Oh yeah, this cheesecake is to die for. And it's super easy. It will be in the oven in less than 10 minutes, so let's get to the business. All right, first we're gonna start off with 2 blocks of softened cream cheese. Now, I forgot to take it out today because I had other stuff going on. So I actually softened it in the microwave for about 25 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and get that started now because we actually want this to be so smooth that we cannot see a single bit of lumpy cream cheese in the whole thing. So we want it going for a little while. I also have already preheated my oven to 300 degrees. Now I'm going to get my Nutter Butters. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need 16 Nutter Butters and 3 tablespoons of melted butter. 10, 12, 14, 16. So one side is a cake. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in my food processor and I'm gonna give it a whir. And when I'm sure it's a fine grain, it's done. All right, and I'm gonna pour my no, they're Nutter Butters. I'm gonna pour my Nutter Butters into a bowl and I'm gonna add my 3 tablespoons of butter. Now this cheesecake is a crowd pleaser. Every season, my dad asks me to bring it to Thanksgiving, and since Thanksgiving is like in a minute, I need to make it and get it into the freezer so I can make his Thanksgiving day. So basically, I am just going to mix this all up together so that all of the breadcrumbs have some butter on them. All right, let's take a look at our cream cheese. You see how nice and smooth it is? There's still a few lumps though, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it up and let it go again. All right, and once I think my graham crackers are moist, what a beautiful word, we are going to get our 9-inch pan ready. So here's a trick for cheesecake. So if you just want the bottom of the cheesecake to be covered so that it will slide off, you can do this and seal it and then tear off all of your bits. So now we have cheesecake bottom. However, I actually would like it like this. So I'm going to put my pan this way and seal it this way so that I have parchment lined sides. So here's another piece here. I'm going to crease it that way. And I'm going to go ahead and rip off my side. Okay? And then I'm going to open. And then I'm going to put my circle inside here. And drop it right down. And then boom. Now we have sides lined and bottom lined with very little effort. Okay. Now we're going to dump all of our crust into here. And we're going to use a soft spatula and press the crust into place. I'll grab one of my offset spreaders. Right, let's check our cream cheese. Okay, look at how light and fluffy. This is perfect. So now we are going to add the sugar, and this is 2/3 of a cup of sugar. We're gonna let that incorporate for just a little bit while we finish off our crust here. So I'm just taking the spreader and I'm pushing down and I'm kind of compacting that crust down onto the parchment lined bottom. All right, perfect. If for some reason you feel like you need it to be a little bit flatter, you can take a piece of your parchment paper and actually push down on the crust itself. That way it doesn't stick to your hands, but it looks pretty good. Not bad at all. You can see the bottom, middle, there. All right, I think that's incorporated, so we're gonna add 1 egg at a time. And we're gonna let that incorporate fully before we move on. So we don't wanna see any of the egg anywhere before we move on again. In the meantime, let's get our Reese's peanut butter cups ready to go. So we're gonna just need a small cutting board and a knife. I'm gonna use a big chef's knife because I can. So these are mini Reese's. They're super cute. You don't have to unwrap them. They're amazing. And we are gonna need about a cup of these. So we'll call that a cup. We'll set those over there so I don't accidentally knock them over. And then we're just gonna give these kind of a little bit of a rough chop. In fact, I'm only going to cut through them 1 time. So I'm going to set these up very nicely and then I will give them a cut. If you don't have small chocolate chip, small Reese's, you can use big ones and you need about 6. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up with the hilt of my knife and then I'm going to cut once through them, just like that. All right, and that should be as much as you need to cut them up. But we'll leave my knife there just in case. All right, once you see your cream cheese mixture beautiful, go ahead and turn it off. Wow, it's so quiet whenever I do that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab another mix and scraper here. And I'm going to scrape down the sides real quick, just so that I can make sure that there is no lumpy cream cheese. There is nothing worse than biting into a piece of cheesecake and finding a piece of lumpy cream cheese. Ugh. I love cream cheese a lot, but not in my cheesecake. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that one more quick stir. All right, so and now comes the confusing bit. And I say it's confusing because more than once when I'm making this cheesecake, I totally mess it up. So I'm going to hope that I get it right this time, especially when the whole world is watching. Not the whole world, that's kind of arrogant of me, huh? Just 41 of you. So, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We are gonna take a cup and a half of this and put it in here. So I'm gonna use Pampered Chef's Measure All, put it at a cup and a half, and then I'm just going to dip it out and make sure that I get a cup and a half into this bowl. Looks like a cup and a half to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this one over here. See that? I almost overshot it. That would have been hilarious. Not very hilarious. All right, so into this bowl, I'm gonna put 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. And this is creamy peanut butter, a creamy natural peanut butter. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on to stir and let that just incorporate in there. And to this mix, we're gonna put all of those. Oh yeah, you saw it. All of them. And just stir them right up. Boom, look at that. That's crazy, right? Oh, and I may need to scrape the sides of that one. Grab another mixing scraper. Oh yeah. Oh, I just want to. You're not supposed to eat raw eggs, but I like my eggs over easy. And I like eating raw cookie dough. I like eating raw cheesecake dough. And I'm still here, not dead. I've not died from botulism. At least, I don't think I'm dead. Anyway. Okay, that looks beautiful. Beautifully creamy. Beautifully fluffy. Maybe I'll let it go a little bit longer while I fill this cheesecake. All right, so we're gonna put in the peanut butter cup filling layer first. So go ahead and just flop it down there. Try to get out every little morsel you possibly can. Grab another spreader. Those of you who have watched my channel for any length of time will know that I have a problem with spreaders. It's a good problem, but I own many of them. I've already used probably 2 others today in another video. And here I am using this one in this video. So I'm just gonna spread this filling out across our crust. And this is gonna be thick and it's gonna be hard to spread. So do not upset your crust underneath it. Just do the best you can. And yes, it's a small, thin layer. That's okay. Because you're going to get a thicker layer on the top. Okay. See? My nice, even layer. Okay. Now the peanut butter layer. And it's okay if we use this one because the peanut butter layer is now going to be on top of this layer. So it'll be fine. All right, so this layer is gonna be a little bit larger than that layer. So you basically want to just spoon it over in dollops. And the reason you want to do it in dollops is because we want to be able to spread it evenly. And I'm just putting like little eggs and like 6s around the cheesecake. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna go really slowly. We're just gonna press it all against the sides, just like this. And once all of the other layer is covered, I can be a little bit more aggressive. But if you were to be aggressive at this point, you would pull up some of that other layer of cheesecake. All right, there we go. And if you wanted to spray your pan instead of using parchment, you can totally do that. But I really like the edges of the cheesecake whenever I do it this way. It makes it very rustic and I think beautiful. So that's why I do it like this. If I see any large creases in my parchment, I will press it down. Just makes it beautiful. All right. And once your layer is even, that's why you really should use a spreader, because you can really get it even when you're using a spreader. Once it's even, it's going to go into the oven for 50 minutes, give or take. So I'm going to check it at 40, and then check it again at 45, and check it again at 50, and then check it again at 55, and check it again at 60 if it's not done yet. Usually it takes about 50 to 55 minutes. However, usually when I make this cheesecake, it's raining outside, but here in Northern California, we have no rain. Usually it's already raining by now. So, All right, the time is up. It actually took about 50 minutes for this cheesecake to be done. And I know it's done because there's very little jiggle. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool to room temperature, and then I'm gonna pop it in the refrigerator, and I'll be back tomorrow to show you how to cover it in ganache. So delicious. I won't be able to taste it though, because it's for my dad, not my grandfather. It's for my dad. But you'll just have to trust me when I say this is his favorite cheesecake. So, be back tomorrow. All right, you know how technology sometimes repels us? Well, that's what happened here. So here we have the finished product. However, I did get some up-close videos of me putting together the ganache and the toppings. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into that. But for now, look at this amazing cheesecake. Oh my goodness, and you see those edges? Brilliant. Okay, so now what we wanna do is get about 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And you can use semi-sweet bar and just cut it up into pieces or whatever, but we need about 4 ounces of it. And once you have about 4 ounces, we're actually going to, there we go. All right, we're gonna get half a cup of heavy cream and we're gonna put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds or just until it starts to bubble. After it's done, we are going to pour the heavy cream into the chocolate chips. And then you're gonna wait 5 minutes. So once you pour it, don't touch it, just wait 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes, you're gonna start to stir. So here we go. 5 minutes has happened, and now we're gonna stir it with a fork. And at first you're gonna be like, wow, this is really thin. In fact, I don't think this works. I'm gonna add some more chocolate chips. Don't do it. Just don't do it or else you'll end up making a truffle. Just keep stirring, and as you stir, it will start to emulsify and turn into the ganache. So see already how it's kind of turning the brown. Just keep stirring. Keep stirring. Just keep stirring, stirring, stirring. Oh, look at that. Do you see how it's turning? So beautiful. Yep, and we basically just want to stir and stir until all of the chocolate chips are absorbed by that heavy cream. And once we think that that is all nice and mixed up, we're actually going to let it sit for 10 minutes to cool down, because you don't want to pour hot ganache on a cold cheesecake. So, yep. That looks about right. See that? Look how beautiful and shiny that is. Oh, it's so good. All right. I think I'm about done. Yep. Okay. Now 10 minutes. Wait 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. 10 minutes has ended. So now we're going to give it a little stir, and you'll notice it got way thick. And that's exactly what you want. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pour it on the cheesecake. So there's a baking tin underneath it, and we're just gonna pour it right in the middle, and we're gonna kind of drizzle it towards the sides, because what we're gonna do is we want it to flow over the sides kind of organically. You can help it out, obviously. See how I'm kind of going over the sides, but you'll see once I pour the whole thing in the middle that it will want to go itself over the sides as well. But you obviously want to make sure you get some over the sides. And it's so beautiful. Now you're going to need a spreader. Remember those spreaders that I said I love? Yep, you're going to need one of those. So grab your spreader. There we go, spreader. So we're going to spread it all out. And you see how I'm kind of pushing it out over the edges? That is ideal because you're going to get that nice flowing chocolate going over the edges. And you're going to want to smooth it out. This is also the time, if your cheesecake got a crack in it, that you're going to cover with ganache, and no one will ever know there was a crack there. It happens to me all of the time. So just spread your chocolate evenly, let it flow over the sides, and just try to get an even spread of that chocolate. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but definitely try to get it as smooth as you can. And once you're satisfied, then you can be done. All right, now we're gonna take some more mini Reese's peanut butter cups, and we're just going to give about half of them, half the ones that we pour out anyway, a rough chop just like we did for the inside. And we're literally just going to pile them on the middle of the cake like garnish. And then I'm gonna take, little bits and put them here or there for artistic reasons until I think that they look perfect. And once I'm satisfied with what I have, then bam, there you go, voila, all done. And look at that amazing cheesecake. Those edges, that parchment paper really makes the cheesecake beautiful. And let me tell you, I'm recording this after this has already been consumed, and it was the first dessert to be gone on Thanksgiving Day. This is everyone's favorite whenever I go to a holiday party. Seriously. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Adventures in Everyday Cooking. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.